Okay, we shall start the webinar now. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on mastering language skills for precision and specialization in translation. I'm thrilled to have you all here as we dive into advanced language techniques, the importance of specialized knowledge, and the role of technology in achieving high quality, audience-specific translation. In translation, precision and specialization are everything. Today, we are going beyond the basics and here to equip you with the insights and the tools that will help you refine your translation skills, adapt to various industries, and work seamlessly with the latest technology. By the end, you'll be ready to produce translations that stand out for their accuracy and relevance. So let me explain these 3 points in the next slide. Let's see what we are covering today. First, we will explore advanced language techniques to enhance your vocabulary, refine syntax, and master idiomatic expressions. Then we will discuss how developing expertise in specialized fields like legal, medical, and technical can take your work to a new level of precision. Then finally, we will look at how technology tools like translation memory, glossaries, and machine translation can enhance your workflow. This session is designed to be practical and also interactive, so you will have the chance to apply these concepts along the way. Before we delve into our main content, let's warm up, shall we? I invite you to share translation challenges you've faced recently. For example, terms or phrases that have posed certain difficulties. You can feel free to mute yourself and speak up and share your experience now. And hopefully this will set the stage for our discussion today. Does anyone wish to share their experience of any challenges or difficulties they faced during translation? Alternatively, you can also share your experience in the chat if you feel more comfortable that way. I can hear someone speaking, but I'm not sure. Okay, well, if you haven't come up with any example at this point, we also have another segment at the end of the presentation where you can share your experience. Maybe some points we'll be discussing during the session will help you fresh up your memories. But you can also participate and interact throughout the session, as we have prepared some examples and exercise, and we encourage you to take part in the session. And you can feel free to speak up or write the answer or any queries in the chat whenever you wish to participate. Okay. Now let's move on to the main content and talk about language itself. Advanced language techniques are crucial for enhancing translation accuracy. This involves expanding your vocabulary, refining syntactic structures, and mastering idiomatic expressions. The goal here is to make our translation not just accurate, but also natural and engaging. Let's have a look at 3 different examples of enhancement here. The first example is this simple sentence. The project was very successful. Think how we can enhance this sentence, maybe in terms of vocabulary. For this one, you can rewrite the sentence in the chat, or if you feel like speaking to share the example, that's fine as well.
Well, first of all, a period at the end.
Yeah, you would add a period at the end. And would you change anything else? Any word choices?
To me, it looks relatively natural. It really would depend on the context, and indeed the whatever the actual original text said before translation. You could, for example, emphasize very to something like extremely or something like that. But it really would depend on what the source text writer wants to say, I suppose.
Okay, thank you. Can we make some like can you add some academic approach to it as well? Because as you say, very might be a bit informal word choice.
It really depends on what kind of text, and indeed what kind of context we have here. If it's academic writing, something like highly, successful or something like that might do better because it varies a little bit, you know,
Yeah,
general or whatever.
yeah, that's true. The highly would be more I guess it's more clear, like it's clearer.
Well, it's just a
Yeah.
different nuance
It's
or
different.
whatever, or a different register, I suppose would be the technical term, I suppose. But then successful, what does that tell us? That's another issue, perhaps. And again, it's in context. If we have a context around this, maybe it's fine.
Yeah, that
But,
will help us
again,
make enhancement. Yeah. So, thank you very much, Johnson.
uh,
We have prepared revision suggestion, and you can tell us what you think about this revision, this suggestion. So we have it. The project achieves remarkable success. So replacing very successful with remarkable success adds more impact and maybe makes the sentence more specific. I'm not sure if you or any other attendee agree with this revision.
Well, again, this looks very good. It might depend on what level of close fidelity the client requires. Remarkable and very are somewhat different, in meaning. Same general idea, but if the client wanted a very close translation, they might not, be okay with that. Really depends what the original is and the client's desired approach. But it's
Yeah,
certainly
then
this is a nice this is a as a English sentence, it has more impact for sure. Yeah.
yeah, the nuance may be a bit different from what the client would expect, but we always need to check the client's preference and see which or what kind of register they prefer. And thank you very much. And we will move on to the next example. Here, she didn't go to the event because she was not informed on time. Let's see if we can refine this sentence as well, probably to make it a bit clearer or enhance the flow. Again, we can focus this as with a more like academic approach and make the sentence sound a bit more refined or even more concise, if that's possible. Does anyone wish to share a suggestion or revise the sentence? And here we have a suggestion that we have prepared. So if we can check this. Um, if we can check this together and see if you agree or disagree. She missed the event due to later notification. So this version is more concise and flows more naturally, as you can see, but it still clearly conveys the reason why she missed the event. Okay, we have one of the attendee has responded or the revised the file in the chat. I will just read it out. She missed the event as she was intimated late. Okay, yeah, and that's close to our suggestion, which is quite concise as well. So I think that's a good example here. Thank you. How about this third example here? The company decided to take strong actions to improve its image. Let's see if we can make some changes in idiomatic expressions.
Strong actions looks a bit vague.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe something like, decisive steps or something along those lines might strengthen the sentence up a bit.
Yeah, that's exactly our suggestion. As you can see, we suggest the company took decisive steps to enhance its image. Yeah, so and we agree with your suggestion because this, especially this part, rephrasing take strong actions, which took decisive steps, makes the expression more, idiomatic and natural. And it also makes the sentence sound smoother and more polished. I think we can agree on
Yeah,
that.
the removal of decided to is nice because they wouldn't have, taken decisive steps unless they decided to do.
Yeah, exactly. That part is a bit redundant and then can be, removed to make it more concise, like in decisive steps. Yeah. Okay. This will be followed by one more exercise. Let's put this into practice with the rewriting exercise now. On the screen, you will see a sample sentence that could use some polishing. This one. The manager gave the team a lot of feedback to help them do better. She said the project needed some improvement, especially in terms of timing and organization. Take a few moments to rewrite the sentence to improve the clarity and flow, and see if you can make it sound more natural for your audience. You can share by speaking, or you can share the answer by writing it in the chat as well. Okay, one on the attendee asked, what does it mean, improvement of time and organization? Yes, exactly. That part is a bit unclear, I think. So if you can try to maybe make it more specific based on the context. It can be about the deadline, as you have suggested in the chat. We have, okay, so is it timing about deadline? You can interpret it as a deadline, and you can rephrase that portion as well instead of just, timing, which is quite vague. Or another suggestion is time management. So you see if the original sentence can be quite vague and interpretation might be different. So what we can do is do our best to, try to understand the sentence, the intended meaning, or the based on the context, and try to rephrase it. And for organization, okay, looks like there are lots of different interpretation for, especially the last bit, and the improvements in timing and organization. Organization, as in, as one of the attendee had suggested, as in teamwork, organization as a team. That's one of an interpretation as well. Or if that portion is a bit unclear, why don't we try and improve the rest of the part? Maybe because the first bit is the portion that I think can be made more polished as well. I will present one of the suggestions we have here. The manager gave feedback to the team. she emphasized that timing and organization are at most important. Okay. I think the revision made the sentences clearer and more readable. But how about this part? Maybe there are a lot of feedback. Do we have more revision suggestions? Or does the intended meaning of the sentence be unclear towards the end? I will share our version as an example with the focus on the first part, the first sentence. The manager provided the team with detailed feedback. So instead of a lot of feedback, detailed feedback to enhance their performance. Enhance their performance, emphasizing improvements in timing and organization. So here, some of you questioned about the clarity of this timing and organization. These were maintained. But this version is more concise and direct, as it uses provided a detailed feedback instead of gave a lot of feedback, which can be a bit ambiguous, and also enhance their performance instead of help them do better, which is certainly a bit too informal. Do you agree with this revision, or do you change something else? So most of the time we only have it in English sentences here, but you will be cross-checking. So the source language will give you a better idea of what timing and organization mean. And you can make revisions around that portion as necessary. Okay, let's move on to domain-specific expertise. And this is where specialization comes into play. So in fields like law, medicine, and technology, having specialized knowledge is essential for producing accurate translation. We will discuss how understanding the context and the terminology of these fields can significantly enhance the quality of your work. Okay, so in this part, we will compare incorrect enhancement approach with the correct one. Imagine, for example, you engage in an assignment as a cross-checker and see what kind of correction should be or should not be made in each case. Let's have a look at the first example. This is in the legal translation. So the original sentence reads, the contract shall be rendered null and void in the event of a material breach by either party. If we have any legal translator, legal experts, do you think the word choices in this sentence are fine as per the subject area, or does the sentence require some kind of revision? Okay, one of the attendees have answered no revision is required. Okay. So we are going to look at the correct approach, but before that, we will share the incorrect revision approach here. The contract will be cancelled if either party breaks it in a serious way. So you see, precise terms like null and void and material breach have specific legal implications, which was like cancel and break do not capture. So as one of our attendees have just said, no revision in terms of terminology is required. So in this suggestion we have here, there's some minor, word choice changes, but the original terminology choice is maintained because the original version already have the correct one. Let's move on to the medical translation example. Administer the medication intravenously in a controlled dosage every 6 hours. Okay. Do we have any medical translators here? And do you think the word choices here are fine? Any expressions that need to be changed? Okay, I will share the incorrect approach here as well. Give the medicine through the veins in small amounts every 6 hours. Again, here terms like intravenously and controlled dosage have specific medical meanings. So specifying them can lead to simplifying these words can lead to misunderstandings in a medical context or even, ambiguity. We have suggestion: intravenously administer the medication in controlled doses every 6 hours. Okay, what I've just read was one of the attendees' suggestion, which is close to what we have here as an example of refinement. So as you can see, there's not much difference between the original and the correct translation approach because, again, the original translation uses the correct terminology. And finally, we will move on to the technical translation example. The device should be calibrated to a tolerance of plus or minus 0.01 millimeters to ensure optimal performance. How about this sentence? And you might see some technical terms that should be retained or changed. Our attendee says no revision is required, but sentence could be shortened. How would you make it shorter? If you can share an example, like which words or which parts that can be removed or rephrased to make it a bit shorter. Okay. So what the attendee suggested is to change to ensure to just for. So instead of to ensure optimal performance, you can make it for optimal performance, which is actually what I've thought about. So as we have seen, there was like tolerance rated as standard technical terms in engineering, for example, and using these precise terms ensures that instructions are understood as intended. If you can just look at this incorrect translation approach in the middle, set up the device to an accuracy of about 0.01 millimeters for the best results. So we have a look at what kind of revision approach shouldn't be made, or we can think the other way around. If you see that the original translation is like this, like in the incorrect examples, you can make these kind of revisions in terminology to enhance the accuracy of the translation. Okay, that's it for the exercise part. Thank you for participating. Now, let's explore a little bit the technology's role in translation. So tools like translation memory, glossaries, and machine translation can streamline your workflow. This is something I've mentioned a little bit at the beginning of the session. But it's crucial to use them wisely to maintain quality. Here we will discuss best practices for integrating these tools into your translation process without sacrificing accuracy. The first technologies we'll be discussing is translation memory, TM. So why translation memory is helpful in storing past translations to be used consistently. It's essential to review suggestions in context to avoid inappropriate matches. Imagine, for example, translating a user manual for a software product with multiple chapters describing similar features. Translation memory would provide previously approved translations for phrases like click the start button or select the file from the drop-down menu. And this will help us save time and ensure accuracy and consistency. Okay. Before we move on, we have another attendee just responded to the previous exercise. So I would like to share the example because, it's good to share these suggestions for our information. Thank you. Then the attendee says, to ensure optimal performance, the device should be calibrated to a tolerance of plus or minus 0.01 millimeters. Okay, that sounds more concise, and the flow is very good as well. Thank you for sharing the example. Okay. Let's move back on to this technology we have been discussing now. And the second technology we have here listed is glossaries. We should develop glossaries tailored to specific clients or industries to align with their terminology preferences. In medical translation, for instance, a glossary might specify preferred terms like antibiotic instead of antibacterial drug. And this will help us ensure that the correct and standardized terminology is used at every instance. Machine translation is another technology that can be used, but selectively and very carefully. It's very important to recognize that while technology enhances, sorry, while technology enhances efficiency, human translators always bring creativity, cultural understanding, and contextual insight that machines cannot replicate. Therefore, machine translation is used selectively only when the client requests for its use, because we prioritize quality over automation. When machine translation is used, we need to post-edit the machine translation output carefully, slowly to refine language, enhance accuracy, and also eliminate any machine-sounding, machine-like phrases. And internally, we have also established quality checks to ensure linguists make sufficient revisions, and this helps us ensure that the final output meets our high standards and delivers a polished and natural result. Okay, I think we have covered quite a lot today. So here, let's synthesize our learnings. When you combine advanced language techniques, specialized knowledge, and effective use of technology, you can elevate your translations from good to exceptional. This holistic approach is key to mastering the art of translation. So we strongly encourage to apply it. We are now at the Q&A segment. So I invite you to ask any questions you might have regarding the presentation or any specific points, exercises, or example that we have discussed, or you can share additional insights from your experience. I'd like to take this opportunity to discuss our unique translation challenge and see how we can tackle this together. Again, you can feel free to unmute yourself to share any experience, insights, or write the responses on chat, or responses or any queries you might have. Or does anyone wish to share their experience of maybe some challenges or difficulties you've faced when engaging in specific translation projects, and how you have tackled these challenges or difficulties? Okay. We have queries here by an audience attendee. Okay. Okay, we have quite a few comments and queries. I will start with the first one. Many times the instruction for translators are not clear. One frequent example is a generic instruction. Make it colloquial. Okay, so I assume this is one of the issues that you've faced during the translation, where the instruction is too it's a bit unclear or too generic. Um, in such case, we can always seek further instructions from the client, I suppose, or um, you can provide a best translation and also add some comment with other alternatives as well. Because if the client asks to make something colloquial, there are so many ways to do it, and it depends on your own perspectives or what is, what is considered colloquial and what is not, and it depends on your culture background as well. So the best approach is to first, ask a client for specific examples, maybe, or specific or more detailed instructions, and then provide one, two alternatives along with your best translation. So the client will have, something to choose from. And if they are not sure about the first option, they will check these one or two alternatives, and then they might, be able to settle for one of these as well. I hope that answered the questions. Or if any of the attendees have other suggestions, you can also share these suggestions as well. And thank you very much for your inquiry as well. Thank you. Let's move on to the next comment. One issue I've had is when clients are inconsistent in their own source language terminology. Yeah, I think I've seen quite a few instances as well. And that is hard to tackle because sometimes a client might want paraphrasing. So they don't, instead of consistency, they might prefer paraphrasing. But in that case, if if you can share how you normally address this kind of issue when the client source file is inconsistent, what is your approach? I would say the standard approach would be consistent in the target file, in the translation. Okay, we have answered. Generally choose a constant term and flag the issue for the client. Okay, yeah, that's a suggestion I was about to make. So the standard approach will be to be consistent in your translation, but you can always highlight this inconsistency in the source file so the client is aware that themselves is being inconsistent in the use of terminology. The next comment we have, should we include all of this in our translator portfolio, like examples of sentences polished? Translator portfolio, do you mean the translation itself or the portfolio that you or you will present to the client, I assume. Um, this is something that's related to what I've said, the portfolio I presented. Or you can, so if this is related to specific project, I guess you can share these either in your portfolio or within the same target file in your translation. For example, if the translation is done on Word document, there's a comment function that you can use to highlight a specific word choice or expressions and list some of the alternatives or some of the refined version and for the client to choose from. And then, if you present these kind of examples or suggestions or alternatives, they might be able to come back saying, hey, I like this specific example. Can you, make the entire translation a bit more, inclined towards this kind of style? So this will help, providing different options will help the client guide what kind of styles they're actually looking for, because to start from, they're not really, sometimes the clients themselves are not really sure about the style they are looking for, but once they see the different options, they will know better what they prefer and what they're looking for. Thank you very much for your comments as well. And we have one more question or comment here. Your presentation today was excellent. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. However, implementing it seems very challenging for me. I don't think I'll be able to do it right away. Okay, so yeah, I think some of the examples we have given are quite challenging as well. And it takes some practice and it's hard to get it right straight away as well. So that's how we receive feedback from peers or from the clients, and then you can take those into take them in, keep them in mind for the next project in the future, and then you can also practice at your own time and see how you can, improve specific sentences or specific phrases based on the subject area given. And for some subject areas, some terms can be really specific and technical, and that also requires some more learning and experience to actually master the use, like the correct use of terminologies. So yeah, I think at first it's difficult, and implementing them all at once will be even more challenging. So what I would suggest is try from something simple, like at a word level. See like if I can improve this particular word, and then maybe once you feel comfortable doing that, you can move on to improving shorter phrases, like how to make them concise or make them clearer. You can do this kind of exercise while you were engaging in some projects or assignment as well. And then once you get used to these, you'll be able to rephrase, refine, and enhance sentences, paragraphs faster and more comfortably. And also, this also depends on what the clients will require. The clients might need really accurate translation, or they want like really fluent or, summarized version of translation. So it will depend on the client's instructions, but they should be able to guide you a little bit as well. And again, whenever you have some questions regarding the way you should translate a certain portion, you can also always leave a comment to the client as well, and see, ask for further guidance. I have the answers of your question, and you can keep practicing these skills. That should also help as well. Okay. Do we have any other comments, questions? Thank you very much for your kind response. No, thank you very much for your comment. Thank you. Okay, so let's wrap this section up. Yeah. So to finish this session, remember that the skills you have learned today are not just theoretical. So as I have just said, we can apply them in our daily work, continue practicing, and look for opportunities to deepen our expertise as we participate in some translation projects. Your commitment to excellence in translation will benefit you and also your clients, of course. Thank you very much for joining today's webinar. I hope you find it valuable and engaging.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you have further questions or would like to stay connected, you can always reach out to us via the contact information you see at the bottom here, feedback@ulatus.com, and we will get back to you soon. So thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you at future webinars. Bye for now. Thank you.
Bye bye now.
Bye.